Ladies and gentlemen, participants from home and abroad, dignitaries present at the ceremony, and viewers who are connected with us via the live telecast on social media, Assalamu alaikum and a very good evening from Bangladesh. I, Tahsina Yasmin, would like to welcome you all to the certificate and award giving ceremony of the International Digital Summit, Education Summit, IPES 2021, hosted by Daffodil International University. Ladies and gentlemen, you already know that we have reached almost towards the end of this 2 day long summit. We have the closing ceremony ahead of us. And during these 2 days, we have had many effective discussion sessions and workshop sessions just to grasp about the overall idea, the future of digital education during the post COVID era. So, therefore, our heartfelt thanks go to all the participants, the discussants, the panelists, and the organizers of the summit. Ladies and gentlemen, at the onset of the program, I would like to introduce you to the esteemed guests who have honored us by their presence at the certificate and award giving ceremony. We have with us Mr. Mohammad Nuruzzaman, the CEO of Daffodil Family. We have the convener, Dr. Muhammad Akhtaruzzaman, who is also the director of Blended Learning Center of DIU. As the guest of honor, we have Dr. Muhammad Abdul Mannan, the Additional Secretary and Project Director of A2I. As the guest of honor, we have Mr. Bikarna Kumar Ghosh, Additional Secretary, ICT Division. As the special guest of the ceremony, we have Mr. N.M. Ziaul Alam, Secretary, PAA, Honorable Senior Secretary, ICT Ministry, People's Republic of Bangladesh. This ceremony is presided by Professor Dr. S.M. Mahbubul Haq Majumdar, the Honorable Acting Vice Chancellor of Daffodil International University. And as the chief guest of today's ceremony, we have Mr. Zunaid Ahmed Polok, MP, His Excellency State Minister for ICT, People's Republic of Bangladesh. Ladies and gentlemen, let me inform you that the minister will be joining with us very soon. Before we officially begin the ceremony, let me inform all the dignitaries present at the ceremony that we have to finish the program by 7:50 because the closing ceremony is scheduled at 8 p.m. and the technical team needs 10 minutes prep time. So we require all your cooperation to run the program smoothly and finish on time. At the onset, I would like to give the floor to Dr. Muhammad Akhtaruzzaman, the convener of IPES 2021, and who is also working as the director of Blended Learning Center of DIU. And we would very much like to know about what you expected when you started organizing for the summit and what you achieved so far. So over to you, Dr. Akhtaruzzaman.
Thank you, ma'am. Let me share my screen. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable State Minister for ICT, People's Republic of Bangladesh, Honorable Senior Secretary, ICT Ministry, respected Additional Secretary, ICT Division, respected Additional Secretary respected Additional Secretary and Project Director A2I, Honorable Acting Vice Chancellor of Daffodil International University, respected CEO of Daffodil Family, distinguished academicians, learned faculty members, students, and their participants from home and abroad. Good evening and Assalamu alaikum. I am Dr. Muhammad Akhtaruzzaman, Convener, International Physical Education Summit, IPES 2021, and Director, Blended Learning Center at Daffodil International University. Tomorrow is a historic day, 17th of March. In the beginning of my speech, we'd like to pay our deep tributes and regards to the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. This program is especially organized targeting the Mujib Barsho and development of our education sector. Over the years, particularly the last 1 year, we suffered a lot and we learned a lot during the corona pandemic. And we applied many things, many best practices in our education. It was not possible without the support from the government of Bangladesh and the University Grant Commission to keep our education going through online during COVID pandemic. Actually, the title of this summit. It was a physical education summit. Physical is actually a combination, a blend of physical and digital education to give the students or learners a true interactive experience to the digital world in the physical settings. Let me tell you that in the IPS 2000, sorry, in the IPS 2021, 15 sessions are conducted with honorable vice chancellors from home and abroad, college principals, head teachers, psychologists, students, policymakers, international experts, followed by exhibition of digital tools and platforms. The key objective was discovering solutions for post-COVID situation in education, including the psychosocial support strategy, implementation strategy in primary school, secondary school, and tertiary level as well. In this summit, we have world-renowned experts and educationist policymakers from all around the world, including Sir John Daniel. He is the father of distance education in the world. Professor Christopher Didi from Harvard University, two distinguished professors and vice chancellor from the Australian University. Our local experts are also there. Professor Kaikobad, Professor Badrul Huda Khan, as well as our policymakers from the Ministry of Education, Ministry of ICT, and UGC. The participating institutions from home and abroad were the Harvard University, particularly the Harvard Graduate School of Education, the Open University UK, Royal Melbourne RMIT University in Australia, Universitas Airlangga from Indonesia, Purdue University from US, Dublin City University in Ireland, Athabasca University from Canada, Federation University from Australia, Massey University in New Zealand, and Concordia University from Canada as well. Daffodil International University is hosting this particular summit in cooperation with A2Y, Cabinet Division, ICT Division, UNDP, and our strategic partners and sponsors were Walton and Rakumari, as well as Muktupat, Connect, Shikhak Batayan, and University of Airlangga, Indonesia. In the age of education 4.0 and fourth industrial revolution, we have to accept the reality and we have to train our teachers, particularly if we want to change this country and improve our digital experience, we have to train our teachers. So the main thing is that we have to train our teachers in digital education. And over the years, Daffodil International University is leading from the front. Thank you very much. Thank you very for joining us.
Thank you, Dr. Akhtar Zaman, for giving this overview about the summit. That was very comprehensive. Now it's time to hear from the guest of honor, Dr. Muhammad Abdul Mannan, Additional Secretary and Project Director of A2I. Dr. Mannan, over to you.
Thank you. Am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Yes.
Okay, thank you, madam. We've been waiting for Honorable Chief Guest. I think that our Honorable Chief Guest, Mr. Junaid Ahmed Palak MP, Honorable State Minister, will join very soon. And also our special guest, Senior Secretary, IC Division, Mr. N.M. Jaul Alam, PAA. So we are waiting for them. We have here Honorable Chair, Professor Dr. S.M. Mahbul Alam Majumdar, Acting Vice Chancellor. My dear friend, Dr. Bikorna Kumar Ghosh, Additional Secretary, IC Division. Convener, Dr. Muhammad Akhtaruজ্জামান, CEO, who is very acquainted to me, Mr. Nuruজ্জামান, Madam Moderator, organizers, officials from the government and non-government organizations, officers of the development partners, my dear colleagues, teachers, distinguished journalists, dear participants, Assalamu alaikum and very good evening. Thank you very much for having me here at the certificate and award giving ceremony of International Phygital Education Summit 2021. This is a very new term, phygital. Okay, it has been, that A2I has been working with the Ministry of Primary and Mass Education and the Ministry of Education since 2009 to ensure quality education by introducing digital innovations in teaching learning methods. I would like to go back a little. You know, when the corona pandemic appeared in Bangladesh in March 2020, under the leadership of our Honorable Research Minister, the chief guest of this August session, Mr. Junaid Ahmed Polok MP, and with acting guidance, our senior secretary, Mr. N.M. Jiaul Alam, A2I with support from our other organizations. We made the action plan. The action plan was prepared basically on education, health, communication, and entertainment. And it was given we have given very utmost priority and importance on this subject. A plan had been sent to the Honorable Prime Minister to keep the educational activities of the government running by giving highest priority on the education sector. Later, under the direction of our Honorable Prime Minister, some groundbreaking steps are taken under the planning and implementation of the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Primary and Mass Education, University Grants Commission, ICT Division, with technical assistance and directions from A2I. ICT Division to keep the educational activities running across the country. Among them, some of the major initiatives were broadcasting classes on Sangsad television, broadcasting audio classes on Bangladesh Betar, virtual classroom.gov.bd, promoting online classes using software, promoting classes in collaboration with the district administration, promoting classes using social media, etc. So Daffodil University are also very vital partner of us. In addition to that, our dedicated district ICT for E ambassador teachers and other teachers came together to open divisional and district online schools and tried to continue the educational activities for the students. Those online schools offered online exams, co-educational activities, and significant events on national days along with regular class activities. As per the guidelines of the Ministry of Education with the technical assistance of A2I, nationally we are working on continuing teacher training and online class assessment for students through e-learning along with conventional face-to-face modality, giving utmost importance on blended learning. The International Physical Education Summit 2021 focuses on
I think there is some disruption or internet problem.
Yes, I think
Yes,
Dr. Mannan
we
is having some hiccups at his end. I
yeah,
was not sure whether I was connected. Um,
we cannot hear also Dr. Mannan. I cannot hear Dr. Mannan.
yes. So maybe we can come back to him and let us move on with our guest of honor, Mr. Bikarna Kumar Ghosh, Additional Secretary, ICT Division, and maybe Mr. Ghosh will be able to shed some more light, as Dr. Manan was already doing, on the government steps and activities. We would definitely come back to Dr. Manan later on. So, Mr. Ghosh, over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Tasina Yasmin. The International Digital Education Summit 2021, announced by Daffodil International University, and also the award-giving ceremony. Honorable Chair, Acting Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. S.M. Mahbub Alam Majumdar, Honorable Chief Guest and Guest of Honor, Honorable State Minister for ICT Division and Honorable the Senior Secretary to ICT Division is yet to join. I see a lot of faces here, particularly one of my very favorite face, Group CEO Mr. Nurujjaman, and also the convener, Dr. Akhtarujjaman, who is from the same district, Upazila from me. I'm from Joshua also. Distinguished academician, students, and also the reporters from online and abroad. I wish you all a very, very good evening. Adab, Assalamu alaikum. First of all, I must pay my respect and tribute to the father of the nation. Tomorrow is his birth centenary. We got the independence, the most glorious part of our history, with his leadership. In addition, 3 million freedom fighters sacrificed their highest level for this independence. We also pay our respect and tribute to all our freedom fighters and martyrs. With the able leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, we are achieving the goal of the father of the nation, Sonar Bangla, and the present form, the digital Bangladesh. We also pay respect to Honorable ICT Advisor, to Honorable Prime Minister Mr. Sajid Wazir, for his continuous effort, directing us towards the goal of modern Bangladesh, the digital Bangladesh. And we believe that the today's session on International Physical Education Summit will contribute one step for achieving digital Bangladesh and also the next step forward. You see, COVID, during the last 1 year, we have come across a lot of lessons in all aspects, including education, economy, ICT, all areas. We are moving forward. If we compare, if we see the milestone of our development and compare 2008, 2021, and also it focus on 2031, 2041, 2071. You see, the Digital Bangladesh vision was declared on 12th of July 2008 as the election manifesto by Honorable Prime Minister. During that time, what we are doing right now was out of our thinking. We never thought that within a span of say 10 years or 12 years, the whole nation will be connected digitally. The education system will be advanced in such kind of digital education or the blended education or the whatever we call. There's so many names or synonyms here. That was out of our thinking. ICT division as the one of the pioneer for building digital Bangladesh with the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister. First of all, I would like to focus some area of activity. First one is the most important is the backbone, connectivity for the whole nation. Right now, out of our 4,570 unions, union is the lowermost tier of administration. We have 4,570. 3,800 are connected through broadband optical fiber connectivity, covering almost 120 million people. That is reduced the digital divide between the city area and the very rural area. And I guess the internet connectivity to the very rural area definitely will contribute towards our remote located citizens to more about our modern development and what we call it this physical education. Right now, students who are just residing or who are living in the union level, in some cases in the very village level, have the access to broadband internet, and they can have all types of education. They can have access to all kinds of the learning material, because nowadays through internet, each and every area of the knowledge is very accessible through the different platforms, say like Google, like YouTube, and so on. And might be within this year, the whole union, I mean the whole nation will be connected digitally. Second one is the human resource development and also the internet facility. ICT division during the last, say 4 or 5 years, established more than 8,000 digital labs in different educational institutions, the high school, college, and nearly 15,000 is going to be established within a couple of years. So the students who will be coming to your university will all have a very strong ICT background. Otherwise, it will be very hard for them, and you also, to make them very comfortable and competitive for the modern knowledge and to be competitive for the whole world. See, for the last 4 or 5 years, ICT division has provided ICT training nearly about 500,000 citizens, and out of them about maybe 0.4 million or 4 lakh the freelancers are here who are earning nearly $1 billion US from different sector. So that is one kind of achievement, and hopefully we are going to have a target of 5 billion export from the ICT sector alone by the year 2023. Another pillar for our ICT is the IT sector development and also the physical infrastructure development. A number of high-tech parks and also the Sheikh Kamal IT training and incubation centers are going to be established all over the country. Each and every district will be having either one high-tech park or one Sheikh Kamal IT training incubation center, each and every district, so that huge number of employment will be generated, and we are expecting a big number of foreign direct investment and also the knowledge incoming from abroad to our own country to the foreigners and also the expatriates living outside the country. During the COVID period, for the last 1 year, you see different experiences we have come across for the last 7 or 8 months. We are afraid about the time we'll be crossing for the COVID attack period. During the time, ICT division has come up with different innovative ideas. What my friend, Dr. Manan, was focusing about, what will be highlighting the different activities. In addition, I just want to say
Coach,
that,
if I may kindly interrupt you, if you could quickly wrap up your speech, because Manan sir joined, so we would like to go back to him, and there are several other speakers. Thank you.
okay, thank you very much. So might be my friend Dr. Manan will continue. So I'm grateful to you, all the people, for inviting me in such a nice gathering with such enlightened persons. And I am thankful to Devote International University. I am here to learn something from you about the physical education. So many thanks from my side for giving me the opportunity to say and also to interact and participate in this very nice gathering. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ghosh. The things that you mentioned about is common for all countries. We all had to go, we all had to take a giant leap in terms of providing digital education. And what we are planning to do from the organizers of the summit is we are planning to compile all the suggestions and proposals from this 2 day long summit, and they will definitely reach the education ministry, the ICT division, and A2I. We look forward to doing that. Now, back to Dr. Mannan, who was talking about A2I projects and initiatives. He was earlier disconnected, and we would definitely like to hear him finish his speech. So, over to you, Dr. Mannan.
Thank you, ma'am, for your kindness. And sorry for interruption. My close friend, Dr. Bikon, was talking. But now, since we have very limited time, so I'm going to close my words. Finally, I would like to congratulate Devote University for arranging such a very good initiative and summit, which will bring benefit for all of us. And I think I congratulate all the winners of the International Physical Education Summit 2021. I hope the winners and all the participants can capitalize the experience which they achieved from this summit to make our education sector a role model to others. I would pay my deep respect to you all who are involved with this August occasion. And again, thank you very much for your kindness. Just allow me to talk few words at the last moment. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Mannan. Now, the chair of the ceremony is Professor Dr. S.M. Mahbubul Haq Mojumdar, the Honorable Acting Vice Chancellor of Daffodil International University. He's our very own, and would like to hear from him now.
Okay, thank you, ma'am, for giving me the opportunity to say a few words. So in the name of Allah, the most merciful and beneficent, before my starting of this speech, I like to convey the most highest respect and tribute to the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and I also pray to the Almighty Allah for the salvation of his departed soul as well as his entire family. And we are very fortunate enough also that we are holding this summit just before 1 day of the birthday of the Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and we'd like to dedicate this summit in his memory. So thank you all. Honorable Chief Guest, Mr. Junaid Ahmed Polak MP, State Minister, Ministry of ICT, People's Republic of Bangladesh. Special guest, Mr. N.M. Jaul Alam, PAA Senior Secretary, ICT, Ministry of ICT, and guest of honor, Dr. Abdul Mannan, Additional Secretary and Project Director, A2I, and Mr. Bikan Ghosh, Additional Secretary, Ministry of ICT, and convener of the summit, Dr. Akhtaruzzaman, distinguished academicians from home and abroad, dear colleagues, my students, journalists from both electronic and print media, and viewers. Very, very good evening to you all. Many, many thanks to you all for participating in this IPES 2021. We feel proud to welcome you in this prestigious and meaningful summit organized by the Daffodil International University. In the meantime, you came to know about the aim and objective of this summit. However, we faced a serious disaster for the last 1 year, and the whole world also faces a serious disaster due to this COVID-19. Whole world's economy is in great threat, especially education sector is the great victim of this pandemic. Worldwide, closed classrooms are still locked down mostly. However, though pandemic is a great curse for the whole of the world, yet it gives us strength and inspiration to face it by technology. By adapting technology, we achieved a lot in various sectors, especially by the dynamic leadership of our great leader, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. By her visionary, bold steps, the country's economy still is in good condition. We overcome many problems by the use of technology. So we have to think what should be the higher education system after post COVID. This is now a great challenge not only for Bangladesh but also for the rest of the world. We may face such kind of pandemic or hindrance in future also. So there is still challenge and also opportunities for future education. Question arises whether we shall transform from the traditional to digital or physical system. Educators, social thinkers, learned persons, entrepreneurs, and people from all walks of life at this walk of life should give their meaningful thoughts and ideas about the prevailing issue. I can say very boldly that Daffodil International University achieved 100% achievement or goal in the digital arena because we have a very blended learning system by which our students and teachers are very comfortable to go forward with this technology for higher education, and we are moving, and there is not even a single day that's spoiled for the life for the life of the students. There is no evidence that we continued very nicely for the last 1 year. So I think this is a very great achievement for all of us as well as for Bangladesh also. So, and our students are also very comfortable by this technology to be more capable, a group of efficient engineers, they working hard continuously for the continuous development of the BLC and Smart Edu. And we all our administrative activities we are performing by Smart Edu. So I do not like to prolong my speech. I can say one thing that we have to think very seriously about the future education, whether we'll go for transformation from the physical to sorry from digital sorry from face to face to digital. So we have to think it because it is a very careful observation from all of us and as well as from the whole world that we have to do something because the pandemic will not go very shortly. So and the circumstances says like this. So we have to move very carefully and we have to think very carefully. And as mentioned by our guest of honor, Bikano Ghosh, that ICT division has made a lot of progress for the connectivity about the internet from in the whole country. So it is also a very good thing for all of us that we are moving very fast regarding the internet, Wi-Fi, etc., etc. So our technology will be very strengthened in future also. And by this time, this summit conducted about 50 sessions, and from these sessions, I think valuable suggestions will come out, and we will transmit it to the concerned ministries, concerned authorities for their active consideration. And with these few words, I like to conclude, but at the same time, as yet, our minister, he has not yet joined with us, and our also senior secretary, I think they will join us very soon. And our many thanks to all of you for joining with us despite your busy schedule. And I'm also extending my warm thanks to all the distinguished participants from home and abroad. And we are very grateful to the members of each and every committee for their active support and participation for the success of this summit. And my special thanks to the convener of this summit, Dr. Akhtaruজ্জামান, for his tireless effort for the success of this summit. May Allah bless you all with peace and happiness. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Majumdar, sir. And you are just right pointing it out that the pandemic was a curse, but it was a curse in disguise because we got so many digital innovations and we developed a lot of techniques, which actually brings us to this next segment. The organizers of the summit asked the participants to share their stories of struggle and how they overcame it during the pandemic. And therefore, from those interesting and very inspiring stories, the organizers chose and selected three teachers to be awarded with Resilient Teachers Award and two students to be awarded with Resilient Students Award. And now it's time for us to declare and announce their names with their stories.
Okay, fine. Please announce.
IPES Resilient Teachers Award goes to Aisha Siddiqa, Muhammad Manzurul Hassan, and Saima Suraya. Aisha Siddiqa had overcome some problems like online classes from many pages such as Ghore Boshe Shikhi and many more. For this purpose, she could connect with some social sites and overcome her challenges. Muhammad Manzurul Hassan faced a large problem like every student could not access education resources properly, so he continued the study process through Facebook. In this way, students were benefited. And last of all, Saima Suraya, as a teacher, to minimize her challenges, she bought a pen tablet so that she can write on a virtual board freely. Congratulations to all these three teachers for receiving the IPES Resilient Teachers Award. Next, moving on to the IPS Resilient Students Award, and the recipients are Jahid Hassan Johnny and Tawshif Zaman Plabon. Jahid Hassan Johnny had typhoid fever just before Corona started, when every physical class was off. He used various sources for learning, like YouTube or other education platforms. After that, he achieved a great result in that online semester. Tawfiquzzzaman Plabon faced financial challenges to continue his study during the pandemic situation. To solve his problems, he started to sell masks at a cheaper rate to help the people and to support his financial condition as well. Our congratulations go to Jahid Hassan Johnny and Tawfiquzzzaman Plabon as the recipient of IPES Resilience Students Award. All these awardees will receive books and mobile handsets sponsored by Walton and Rockomary.com. And the participants of the summit will receive a participation certificate. Congratulations again to all of you. And
Madam
now
Tasin,
we would like
senior
to move
secretaries
on.
are already joined with us.
Okay. All right. Sir, we have been waiting for you, and we are really
Oh,
honored that
I'm
Mr. N.M. Ziaul Alam, Secretary PAA, the Honorable Senior Secretary of ICT Ministry of People's Republic of Bangladesh, has joined with us, and he is the special guest of today's certificate and award giving ceremony. And we would very much like to hear from you, sir.
I'm very sorry that I'm a little bit late. I was actually engaged with a very important task in my office. So thank you so much for inviting me. I will continue to stay in this meeting.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Senior Secretary. I talked to you the other day to join this summit, and we are
But
extremely happy that
unfortunately,
you have joined with us. We are extremely
but
happy that you have joined with us. Thank you very much. Thank you.
thank you so much. Thank you.
Sir, if you could address us on a few issues related to digital education, we'll be very grateful because we already heard from the other guests and we were waiting
Oh,
for you, and now you joined. So it's time for you to speak, sir.
thank you so much, Honorable Chair, that is the Vice Chancellor of this university. As I told you earlier, that I actually is busy with my official task. Some very long pending issues are actually lies with me. So I was actually busy with this. That's why I am a little bit late. But I think my colleague, Mr. Mannan, the project director and additional secretary of A2I, is here. and I have seen another of my colleague, Mr. Bicorno. I think these two are very vital member of yeah, our family in the ICT division. So I'd like to pay my heartfelt gratitude to the Daffodil University for arranging such a very, I think, very useful discussion today. That is digital education, and I appreciate the initiative of Daffodil University. Actually, Daffodil University did so many things to promote our IT activities and innovation and so on. So Daffodil University is good friend of our ICT family. As you know, the under the visionary leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and under the proper direction of Architect of Digital Bangladesh, Mr. Sajib Wajed, the Honorable Advisor to the Prime Minister of ICT Affairs, Digital Bangladesh is now in a, I think, in a good position all over the world. It's the IT and IT-enabled service companies that are the main partner, and the academics, academia, that is universities, are the main partners of the government in mainstreaming that sort of transformation, that is the digital Bangladesh. Um, this is actually month of March, month of independence and month of the birth of our father of the nation. As you know, tomorrow we will enjoy our father of the nation's birthday tomorrow. So we are also busy with some sort of functions. Those are who will be designed to held in tomorrow. So uh, I think today's discussion is on uh, uh, physical education. Our students actually now are very habituated with the digital use of digital device in their education system, and the academics and the universities are prepared in this regard. And as you know, from the day one of COVID pandemic attack in Bangladesh, we are using ICT and we are using our electronic filing system. We are using our that sort of platform, that is the online meeting platform, to conduct our daily activities. So this actually COVID-19 actually help us to adapt ourselves with this sort of technology, and we are already habituated with these platforms. With those platforms, I think our students are also habituated much more with this platform. So I think if we go again to our traditional way of learning, that will now it will be difficult for us to cope ourselves with the sort of education. So we are actually shifting our sort of knowledge sharing or the studying activities by using ICT platforms in our education system. So I think today's award giving ceremony on physical education, I think, is encouraged our young learners, the students, um, to to use more the electronic platform for their educational system. So I'd like to thank Dublin University for arranging such a sort of very important and very, I think, very useful events today in the day of March, I think, day of independence. So again, I would like to thank our colleague Mr. Mannan and Mr. Bicarno for their presence, and I think they already shared their views. So I have nothing to say, as our colleague also said something before you. Uh, with this, I'd like to finish my opinion, and I would like to thank you again, the Daffodil University, especially the Vice Chancellor, Honorable Vice Chancellor, and their colleague, his colleague, for inviting me and for arranging such a very important events today. Thank you all.
Thank you, Honorable Senior Secretary. And you are very much right. Dr. Mannan and Mr. Ghosh indeed shared all these steps and initiatives that A2I and ICT Division took and helped our students to move on with their education during the pandemic. But we definitely didn't want to miss your wishes, and thank you for joining. I do understand, we all understand that you are very busy, and you got tied with a lot of stuff because of the very special program which is scheduled tomorrow. Thank you, sir. Now it's time for the vote of thanks, and I'd like to call upon Mr. Muhammad Nuruzaman, the CEO of Daffodil Family, to offer the vote of thanks. Nuruzaman, sir, you were muted. Can you unmute yourself first?
Yes.
Thank you. Go on.
Okay, so I don't want to prolong my speech because we have already passed almost 1 hour. That's why I would like to try to short my speech. Respected guests, distinguished academicians, learned faculty members of PIU and from other universities, participants from home and abroad, and dear journalists. My best wishes and a very good evening to you all. We all know that COVID-19 pandemic has raised significant challenges as well as an opportunities for the educational community globally to learn and explore. You'll be happy to know that Daffodil International University, along with 20 other institutes of Daffodil Education Network, started conducting classes through Blended Learning Center as well as Smart Edu platform from very beginning of the pandemic, and still continuing all academic activities, classes through online successfully. It could not have been possible at all without the time-befitting policy decisions from the government to continue teaching and learning through online. I repeat, it could not have been possible at all without time-befitting policy decision support to continue classes through online. It was taken by the Ministry of Education to continue online. And that is the main reason for Daffodil to continue its online study among a very few other institutes. We believe classroom education, I mean face-to-face education, cannot be replaced by the digital education. On the other hand, the digital education that has already been adopted by the teachers, students, institutions, will also be remain significantly as part of teaching and learning system. Considering both the realities, the term physical emerged. In this context, the International Physical Education Summit is a landmark towards implementing hybrid system of education in Bangladesh as well as globally. It is indeed a pleasure for me to convey the vote of thanks on behalf of Daffodil International University as well as Daffodil family. I'd like to thank Honorable Senior Secretary, Mr. N.M. Jiaul Alam, PAA, respected Senior Secretaries from IC Division, Dr. Vikarna Kumar Ghosh, as well as Dr. Abdul Mannan, those who are leading two vital organ of ICT division. And as you have already heard that we already get to know each other for a long time. I also convey my thanks to gratitude to express my heartfelt gratitude and thanks to foreign delegates, speakers, moderators, participants, panelists, and proud partners, especially the ICT A2I of ICT division as a partner to work with, to support us in this digital physical education summit. I hope this summit will offer opportunities for Bangladeshi universities and other institutions for sharing experiences of physical education among participating universities from USA, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, UK, Ireland, Kuwait, Indonesia, even Gambia, Nigeria, as well as from Morocco. So I wish all of you good luck and thank you so much and thanks once again.
Thank you, CEO sir. With this, we have reached to the end of the certificate and award giving ceremony of IPES 2021. We'd like to express our gratitude to the dignitaries for inspiring us with their presence and their words. In the month of independence, let us finish the program with the spirit of independence. Thank you and good night.